Hi everyone. So today I'm here in a pink mode. I think it fits really well. I didn't really think about it, but it fits really well the topic that I want to bring today because it's much more feminine. So this is kind of like a continuation from the video of last week. Um, but even if you didn't watch it, like if you didn't, I really suggest that you do. I really think has like powerful information there. Like that one I think is really relevant. But I will do like a little bridge between one and the other. So I talked about dreams and how much I transformed my dreams in a matter of a few months. Dreams that I had for all my life, really, that were like suppressed and just quiet. Like I wanted to hide them and suppress them, but they were always coming out, the same kind of dreams that were like really heavy, and they were bringing up fears and things that I didn't know why they were there. Like it didn't make sense in my mind. But then I realized like it was probably connected to past lifetimes and even things in my ancestral lineage from this lifetime, and how everything is connected, really. So when I decided to look at it, because they were coming up over and over again and they wouldn't just disappear, I felt like with all the work, internal work that I've been doing, that okay, something was there for me to see and I had to pay attention to it because they weren't going away by itself. So I started writing my dreams, and kind of just by doing that, they started rewriting themselves. So they started shifting a lot in a matter of a few months. And so the transformation was incredible. Like a lot of fear, like how can I describe it? It was so heavy, like so dark. A lot of darkness was just clearing up, and my dream started to be lighter and lighter and just so much freer, really. And I started to become freer, really, in my dreams, in my expression. And I really feel that impacted a lot of things in the physical reality, like right now, for sure. And it's quite curious because a few months after I started, so like 6, 7 months after, and at that time I was already seeing a lot of shifts. I started having a lot of like premonitions in my dreams that I know sometimes I would have like really interesting dreams, but at this time, like they really started to be like premonitions. And in the beginning, I thought, no, maybe not. But then I started like seeing things that I would dream happen the day after or like a week after. But a lot of times it was like small things, little things that would happen like a few hours after I would wake up and that thing that I dreamed about happened. So a lot of things like this started to happen. And at the same time, yeah, the dreams shifted a lot. So a lot of weight and heaviness and darkness that I was living and reliving in my dreams over and over again for so many years, it started to change. So, like in April of last year, what happened was I had a cyst bursting in my womb, and I had no idea I had a cyst. Like I never really had issues like that before. Like everything always like clear, and my health in that sense like good. So I wasn't really like worrying about it or anything, and I wasn't really expecting that to happen. So it's so curious because when that happened, after, of course, the shock of it happening and all of that was involved with it, I started recognizing like how much that was all the fears, all that heaviness, all that darkness that I was processing that was related to other lifetimes, ancestral lineage, like whatever, just clearing that up, my body was just finding a way to release it. And why in the womb? So the womb, I've been like doing this kind of work for quite a while now, and I've discovered that the womb is a place, or the place in our bodies for the women especially, where our fears, our like repressed emotions, the things we don't really allow ourselves to feel and process in our bodies, it goes from wherever it starts in our body. If we don't process it, if we don't see it, if we don't allow it to be felt, it just goes into our womb. It's like our nest somehow for the emotions that are not felt and seen. So yeah, like this, it really felt like this was all there, being repressed and stored there. And then after these like 6-7 months after I started doing this kind of work and my dream started to shift, it was like, okay, now my body has to release it physically, because this was like a subconscious work. And the thing is, when we bring it to the reality, kind of like our body needs to process it to release it, the emotions, the unprocessed stuff that was there to be released. And it was so much, really. It felt like so much, so strong, so heavy. And I really felt like it didn't really just belong to me, but to my ancestral lineage and all that, and past lifetimes, that, yeah, my womb, just chose to release it like that. So through a cyst that bursted, and of course that impacted a lot of things and changed my plans for that whole year. Almost like for a few months, my life changed quite a bit. But I could see why things were happening, and that my body was just releasing all that. So it was like a clearing, a big clearing. And of course, like at that time, I was not that happy with what happened. And at the beginning was quite of a shock, and I was quite scared when that happened. I was in the hospital, like, and first no one knew what was going on with me. And then when they discovered, like, it was a big shock. They wanted to do like surgery immediately, but they didn't in the end. So I recovered naturally, but of course took a while. But I'm glad that they didn't do the surgery. It would be like a high risk for women, like, because if something goes wrong, they have to take all your uterine organs. I would not have my feminine organs anymore, right? So I'm glad that we didn't do it. And of course, it took a while to go back to normal like that. Sometimes they say that if you do the surgery, the recovery is faster. But at the same time, the risk was really, really big. And they said it wouldn't be smart to do it. And I'm wanting to share this because sometimes what I see happening to a lot of women, it really is when we are in this process, and I have friends, like close friends as well, going through things like this, not exactly the same, like everyone goes through it in a different way, and we have different things to process. But what I see is, like, when we go through this journey, when life takes us in this journey of self-development and deep healing and self-work, what I see happening is, at a certain point, our health, our bodies are releasing those things in some way. So something in our health goes off, and what I see is, at the same time, is helping us release all that and allowing us to recognize what was there to be seen and make changes from there on. And what I see happening for me and close friends, or like many other women that are doing this work and talk about this, is when something big like this happens, is when we really start nurturing ourselves and listening more to our bodies. Like, we probably were doing that already, but not in a as in-depth way as we actually needed to. So I'm telling you this so you, instead of sometimes we see it as a wrongness, just recognize that is the way our body has to release all those things that we've been processing, and we need to just release it in a way like it was so much to process that sometimes our bodies don't have other ways to process it more naturally. Like, is just so much that has been dealt with that just has to go out. And I want to share this as well because really our wombs need much more nurturing and care than we usually give it, because we are so used to live in a world that um, revolves around the masculine energy of go, 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 of do, 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 that we kind of left our feminine structure, how the way our feminine bodies work and what they need to be healthy, we kind of left it on the side to pursue something a bit different, that now it just needs to be balanced in a way. So it doesn't mean that it's wrong, it just means that we need to balance it out and really listen more to our bodies and nurture ourselves. So this is a call for especially women to nurture more this feminine side of us, because our bodies are suffering with it, and all the repressed emotions, all the things that are said that women cannot show anger, cannot show emotions, cannot, they just have to be strong, and to be successful or happy in this world, they need to be independent and show they are strong to be able to have success and happiness in their lives, to be respected, whatever that is seen, heard. And it's really a call to do this work of nurturing ourselves, just to look at the areas where we've repressed our emotions, our expression, and take care of that. Really come back into our own center and just nurture ourselves, nurture our womb, because it really is the center of our well-being. So is in the area of our gut, right? Our womb stays in the same area. And we know our gut is the base, the foundation of our well-being, of our health. So, and I can tell you really that when that happened, it kind of was like a big mix of everything together. Like the recovery was quite hard because one thing impacted the other. And if I wouldn't really allow myself to rest as deeply as possible, one thing would impact the other, and my gut would be unbalanced, and then I would have a lot of pain because of my gut being unbalanced. And so it was like a mix. And I actually think that there's another message that is here for us, that is, when we say trust your gut, we are telling to trust our intuition, right? So I really feel that here, when we talk about taking care of our wombs and the emotions, like the repressed emotions, so we don't get these repressed emotions in our womb, we allow ourselves to feel the emotions that come up when they come up, so we don't get them to be suppressed and held there, hidden there. And at the same time, right, that area being connected to our gut, and our gut being our intuition. So it really is calling us, especially women, more to be more connected to our emotions, to feel them, not suppress them, not repress them, and to be connected to our intuition. That is like that spark, I think, that as women have. When we connect to our intuition, there's another layer, there's another spark that comes from us that is truly deeply feminine. We all know, right? When people say that women have this sixth sense, it really is this intuition, this deeper knowing that doesn't need explanations. Women just know. And I think we are really being called to that. So to feel our emotions and to connect to that deeper inner wisdom, inner knowing that we have, the intuition that doesn't need outside explanation, because we started to move away from it when we entered the more masculine world, because we wanted to belong, we wanted to be able to do things that would provide us for more independence and security and a lot of things, right? Even emotional security. But at the same time, it's like in some way it was asked of us that to belong there, we would need to leave behind our deepest feminine parts. And I think we kind of did, without being maybe as conscious, but we did. And now we are being called to recover that and to bring together the two worlds. So our masculine energy as well, which is also needed, and this deep knowing, this inner wisdom, this intuition that is being called from us, and this sensitivity of a feminine energy that is really being called back to ourselves, because our bodies are screaming for it, really, and the world also. I think it's pretty clear that what happens inside becomes our outside, and when we are unbalanced in the inside, the world around us shows that imbalance as well, and we can see that clearly now. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoy it, and just just connect more to your body. Just allow yourself to feel your emotions and to be deeply connected to your intuition, your inner knowing, and follow that. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and sending lots of love.